All right, so let's do 54. When the histogram shows a great deal of skewness, what location of measure should be used? The answer here is going to be median. If this is something that you don't know, I recommend just putting it on your cheat sheet. It's just a definition-based question, conceptual question. 55 says the sampling distribution of P bar will tell you how far P bar is to P. This is not true. The answer is going to be false. 56 says, which of the following does not need to be known in order to compute the p-value? So in the p-value formula, whether you're using norm.dist or t.dist, you need your test statistic, right? So in the p-value formula, you always need the test statistic. So the answer is not A. Knowledge of whether the test is one-tailed or two-tailed. You need to know this to calculate the p-value, because if it's one-tailed, you don't need to multiply by 2. If it's a two-tailed test, you have to multiply by 2. All right. The probability distribution of the test statistic, this is something that you need to know as well. D, the level of significance. This is the same thing as saying your alpha. It relates to your alpha. Your alpha is independent of your p-value, meaning the alpha does not relate to the p-value. You don't need to use alpha in calculating the p-value. So that means D would be the answer here. 57 says, which of these is not a measure of variability? This is a definition and conceptual question. The answer is going to be C. If this is something you do not know, just put it on your cheat sheet. All right. 58 says parameter is a descriptive measure of sample that is of interest. Does parameter relate to sample? No. Parameter is a descriptive measure of the population, right? Parameter and population, and put pop for population. The two P's go together. Sample and statistic go together, the two S's. So parameter does not relate to the sample. So the answer here is false. 59 says, which of the following cannot be an alternative hypothesis? Well, if you remember, I've said this many times, the null hypothesis is the only one that can have an equals in it. The alternative should not have an equals in it. So which one of these has an equals? This one, B. So P is greater than or equal to 0.3. This cannot be our alternative because our alternative cannot have an equals in it. The answer here is this one.